Hello everyone, it's James Walden back again with a quick little refresher on the distance formula. For those of you who are in Geometry or Algebra 1, you may be learning this right now. The distance formula is a formula for finding the straight line distance between two ordered pairs in a coordinate plane. It is based off of the Pythagorean theorem. In other words, a squared plus b squared equals c squared is the basis for how they found the distance formula. There is a way to show how you get to there, how you get to the distance formula from the Pythagorean theorem. But in the interest of simplicity for this video, I didn't want to do that breakdown here. If you need to see it, stop by my room sometime. I will be glad to show you how that works. Alright, if you've got any two ordered pairs, and I just made two generic ordered pairs here, A and B. A is x1, y1, x1, y1. And then on B, it is the second x value and the second y value. Those fit directly into the formula for the distance. The distance equals the square root of, notice it's the square root of this whole part under here. Then you open parentheses, the second value of y minus the first value of y, close parentheses, square that answer. To that you are going to add, in parentheses, the second value of x minus the first value of x, close parentheses, and square it. It's a little bit of computation, but it is actually a fairly straightforward formula. I'm going to switch to another page now. And on this page, I have made two ordered pairs, A and B. I actually drew the line between them just so you can see what we're actually measuring. We're going to be finding the distance, straight line distance between those 2 points. And I went ahead and found the coordinates for you because this grid paper that I use is poor choice, and it is hard to read what the negative values are for y. So I just went ahead and gave you that A is -4, -2. And that B is 6, -6. And as long as you know the two ordered pairs, you don't have to have the picture, you don't have to have the line drawn between them. You can tell the distance by using the formula. So again, we have our coordinate A, our coordinate B. On A, this will be our first x value, comma, our first y value. And for B, this will be our second x value, comma, our second y value. And we're going to set those up in the distance formula. We're just going to fill in the blanks here. We're going to fill in those 4 unknowns under the square root symbol. The second value of y is -6. So we're going to open parentheses, put in a -6, and then we're going to put the minus sign because that's part of the formula. Now, if the other value of y is negative, well, so be it. There is still a negative sign in between the two variables. So -6 minus, and then we subtract the first value of y, which is -2. I'll close parentheses and square that, plus, open parentheses again, we're going to take the second value of x, which is 6, minus again, because the formula has a subtraction in it. And then the first value of x is -4, so we're going to put -4, parentheses squared. The tendency for a lot of kids is to leave out the minus sign if they see, let me get an eraser up here, if they see that there's a value that's negative, and there's a minus sign in the problem, they leave the minus sign out. They think it's already taken care of with the negative symbol, but it's not. You have to put both of them in there. Okay, minus negative becomes plus a positive on both of those. Okay, so let me switch to a page where this is written out a little better. Okay, it's going to become plus a positive, plus a positive. So D equals the square root of, parentheses, -6 add 2 is -4 squared, plus 6 plus 4 is 10, squared. Now we'll square the parentheses. For those of you using a Texas Instruments calculator, please, when you are putting the value in the calculator to square it, and it is negative, please put it in your calculator in parentheses before you square it so that it will give you the correct answer. If you put it in your Texas Instrument calculator without the parentheses, it will give you a negative answer, and that is not correct. So, negative 4 squared is 16. 10 squared is 100. I don't have any more parentheses, so I can just add them together. The square root of 116. Now, depending on what class you're in, you could then go to your calculator, take the square root of 116, and some teachers might say, okay, tell me it's 10.77. That might be good enough. I like my kids to be able to simplify their radicals, which is a separate video. If you search on this YouTube page, you can find one over that. If you try to find something that will go into 116 and have a square root, you will find that when you divide it by 4, it goes in there 29 times. So 116 can be broken apart into square root of 4 times the square root of 29. Now we'll separate those factors with the square root symbol. Square root of 4 is 2. You can't find the square root of 29, and that would be how I would prefer to see my answer. Now again, that's correct. Well, for that matter, that's correct. They're all three the same number, but I just like to have mine as a simplified radical. Okay, everyone. Well, that was one example. You can use it no matter if they're negative values, positive values, wherever the order pairs are. You do not have to necessarily graph them. If it helps you to draw them on a grid, then do so. Whatever helps you see the distance better. Thanks again for watching, and if you need me, come see me in my room.